It's time for some 4570. I cast some bullets the other day. Well, I guess it was a couple weeks ago. And these are powder coated with IVC Silver that came from MCK Mark. And I really like it. It looks a lot like regular lead. And we're going to run these out of my Browning, out of the 1885. And I did a video on this rifle a couple weeks ago. I picked this up from one of my friends. It's a 1885 high wall in 4570. It has a Williams rear peep sight on it, and it's got a Lyman Globe front sight on it. Let's go ahead and get it out on the bags, and we'll give it a try. I haven't put it on paper yet. I only shot it at steel at Mark's house, so we'll see how it prints on paper. I believe that it's shooting just a little bit to the right, but we'll make an adjustment if we need to. So I'll get it out on the bags and check back in. Well, okay, here's the 1885 out on the bench. We're going to start with those powder-coated bullets, the Lee 457-340 flat. 2 coats of IVC Silver from MCK Mark. They are sized to 458, and it's NRA 50/50 lube out of my lube sizer. 14 grains of Trail Boss. I started with a 3.1 cc Lee scoop and then trickled up. We should be getting about 1,070 feet per second, and there's some old Herter's large rifle primers that I've had for a while that I've been chewing up. And then we might also shoot this other batch a little bit too, 23 grains of 4198 with the same bullet, same sizing. But like I say, we got the Williams peep on the back. I wish it was the one with the target knobs. I might source one of those, but I believe that the rifle probably will shoot just a little bit to the right after what we saw out at the Mosquito Ranch on steel. Got the globe sight on the front. I do have more inserts for this. If I don't like the appearance on the 100-yard target, I could change that, but we'll just take a look at it as is, put some rounds down there and see how we do. I'll shoot a first group, see where they print. Like I said, I believe that it will probably print a little bit to the right, and we'll go from there. Stand by. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to hold on that. The front sight, the round part up at the top of it, it's like identical to the size of the black spot on the bullseye. I'm not sure if I want to try to cover the bullseye up or if I want to hold 6 o'clock. I'm going to hold on that a little bit and see what I think. I think I'm going to start out trying to cover it. That might be a mistake, but I'm going to give it a try, and we'll start with the silver bullets. That was a very, very poor shot. I just got done shooting those milsurps, and I forgot that this has a much better trigger. So that went way before I wanted it to. So that one's probably going to be a mulligan. We'll try to be a little more disciplined on this next shot. That was a little bit better, but it's going to take a few shots to get used to the difference. These are pretty light. Like I said, only about 1,070 feet per second. There's something fun about pushing these in there. Still a little bit jerky. I've got to settle down. It sure is a fun rifle to shoot, though. Wow. That was a much better shot. That's 4. A little bit of lube on there still, so must have plenty. Let's see if we're looking, if we got a star on the front there. Yeah. I think we have plenty of lube, plus with the powder coat we should be running pretty clean. Looks like everything's burning real well. It's Trail Boss, it's real fast. All right. Be disciplined on that trigger, bozo. I think I should move that back. I was catching on the sling swivel a little bit up there. That was a better shot too. Looking pretty good. That was on my first target, the one to the right. Let's go down and take a look at how those came out. I'm thinking that I'm probably all over the place because I was a little bit jerky on the trigger. Yeah, as I expected, a little bit to the right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this thing's going to shoot fine if I settle down and shoot it better. We definitely could use a sight adjustment back to the left a little bit, which is pretty much what I thought after shooting it at Steel out at Mark's house. This was probably my first shot up here that I was not even anywhere close to being ready for, but so this thing has definitely got some potential. You know, I was jerky on the trigger on that group. I think what I might do is I need 1, 2, 3, 4. I need about 4 inches of correction there. I think I might see about adjusting the rear sight a little bit and see if I can't bring that over to the left a bit, and then I'll put 5 more of the same bullet downrange, probably on the same target, and we'll see how that goes. This screw over here for the windage adjustment on the side there, and there's also a tiny little lock screw right there that I'll have to loosen first with this smaller bit in order to make that adjustment. So I'll make the tweak and then we'll get right back on the rifle. Well, okay, I moved the rear sight over a little bit to adjust my point of impact. I'm going to use the same hold, cover up the black with the round part of the front sight post. Same loads here, we'll still run the IVC Silver, see how that does. And I don't know if my adjustment was correct or not. I went a few clicks with this sight radius. I don't know how many clicks is how many MOA. It's just a guess. We'll try to be disciplined on the trigger. I'll try to stay off of that front sling swivel there and see if I can't make decent shots here. But once again, there's something that's just gratifying about pushing that cartridge in there, watching the breech block come up. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm really glad that I got this rifle. It's going to be a lot of fun. Remember that the trigger is way lighter than what you've been shooting. Seemed pretty good. Boy, the Trail Boss and the lube sure smells good. A little bit of smoke. That's fun. I need to get Toad to teach me how to shoot black powder out of this thing. Well, the bore sight looks pretty good. It ought to. It's hitting the paper. And I do like that silver powder coat. It looks good on that lead. Thanks, Mark, for sending me powder. Actually, I picked that up when I flew down there a couple years ago when we did the airmail delivery. Little bit jerky on that one. still coming out of there with just a little bit of lube, so we must have plenty. It's interesting to look down the bore and see the smoke laying in the bottom of the bore. It's kind of like creepy looking. The smoke's like moving all around. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see how we do. A little bit of space up there in the front. One more in this group. I hope my sight correction was somewhere close. Now sometimes I use the spotting scope and look and adjust, but then I think it affects your next, especially with iron sights. You tend to, if you know you're shooting a little bit right, you tend to cheat a little bit. I'm just trying to hold them all the same. Jerked that a little bit, but I think I jerked it mostly straight back. Boy, this rifle will really tell you when you're not being smooth. That's just too fun. Way too fun. Okay, it looks like I can come back just a little bit on my adjustment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm right here. And looking pretty good. I think when I get used to this, it's going to shoot good. So I can come back a couple of the clicks that I put in and get that thing back closer to the center. Looks like the elevation might be favoring a little bit high at this yardage too, but I think I might just leave that for now because I'm not sure what load I'm going to end up running out of this or what distance I'm going to end up shooting with it. But roughly the same as, you know, those 3 shots there, which stayed together pretty good. My elevation is similar. I think I'm still driving the rifle around a little bit, so I don't make too much out of the openness there. You know, that's you know, 1, 2, about 2.5, 2 3/4 of an inch group there on the maximum. But I think that's just mostly me not keeping the sight quite right and pulling the trigger a little bit. A couple of times I did feel like I was holding a little bit left. Those might be those 2 shapes, because, you know, I've got a kind of a lollipop sight post in the front. It's round on the top and it roughly matches the black here. So you know, I might ought to try a 6 o'clock hold and see how it does and go from there. I'm pretty confident that I can bring it back to the right just a little bit though, so maybe that's what I'll do on the next group. I think what I will do is I will bring it back to the right just a little bit, and then I will try a 6 o'clock hold, and that should put me, you know, maybe a little bit low, and we'll see what it does.